What are you waiting for?
Come join the Geek Drunk Nation. Hello. Wait, I'm unmuted. Oh, wait, am I still
now
muted?
we're unmuted. No, we're unmuted
Oh,
now.
okay, hold on. Let me start over. Hello. I almost knocked this whole damn desk over. What's up, people? How is everybody doing today? The first of there's the train. Hey, train.
I don't even hear it this time.
I don't. Maybe
I don't hear it either.
Maybe they're more quiet because it's Memorial Day. I don't.
Probably.
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
But first official week without the Flash. I don't know how to feel. Like I woke up this morning thinking about it though. Like the Arrowverse is gone.
Yeah.
I don't know why I was thinking about it, but I was like, dang, like it's really over with. Like it's crazy. It's crazy to think about because it's been a major part of our lives for so many years.
Yeah.
But it's like it's gone. Like I saw somebody was posting like old clips on TikTok, and it's like Grant was so young.
Yes.
And now it's just gone. What can you do about it, right? Today is a Q&A stream. You know, you guys submitted questions. We've selected 18 of them. You know, just so we can all give our thoughts and opinions on each question. That should tie us over for the whole stream. It's a holiday. We won't be long, but I didn't want to just outright cancel it, especially after last week when I was half asleep. Good news. My wife, they gave her some miracle drug, so she's all clear. Man, I wish they would have what they have for strep for other illnesses. Wishful thinking, right? Oh well. But yeah. What's up, Lightning Bolt? Let me go through this. Chat. Who do we have? We have Ragu, as usual. He helps me run my Team Wolf group on Facebook. Maddie, stream. Never mind, I'm slow. That's that's my StreamYard AI. What's up, Justin? I will not argue that point.
Oh yeah, Smallville had like a great one though. Like that's not even a dish on Flash. That's just
they didn't try to. Amazing. They didn't try to rush them.
Yeah,
the Flash had so many things against it.
Sure.
Cut episode count. Barely any promotion because Next Star is cheapest. We all know how that went. We all know how that went.
I would argue. I would argue Smallville is better than all of the Arrowverse ones as well. Like I don't think it beats out any.
But I know one finale that will not beat the Flashes.
Wait, you think it's better than Stargirls?
I think I prefer Black Lightning.
Really? No.
I think so. A little
Wait,
bit.
over the Flash? Over
the
Flash?
I think
over
so
the Flash.
Slightly.
The Flash didn't have to worry about two actors not wanting to be in the same room with each other.
Yeah,
and trying to cover up that fact. It was so blatantly obvious.
No, it was not a good one.
You have a body double. I will say this. As much as I love Black Lightning, more than the Flash.
Yeah.
Black Lightning's final season will always be worse than the Flash's final season.
Oh, it was terrible.
Black Lightning's first of all, he didn't suit up until what? Episode 6?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was something like that.
Season 4 was a mess.
The random new characters that they had to throw in there and try to make you care about, and they were both unlikable as ever. For them to just kill off they kill off Henderson, and then that causes them to say, "Yeah, this is gonna be the final season." Find out a way to bring this man back. Don't give us these two. What was the new detective's name that was suddenly Henderson's protege? I said he's never talked about you before.
Yeah,
you couldn't have came up with a better backstory. I have so many. Me and Eric used to talk about how bad the final season of Black Lightning was.
Yeah,
all the time. That's why I'm glad when he came back for Armageddon, it kind of redeemed that horrible final season in my eyes. But let's see who else is in this chat.
Wait, so y'all think
Justin.
this? Do y'all think the Smallville finale is better than Stargirls?
Oh,
Well, that's
yeah, that's tough.
That's tough, bro. You
I
coming
think
in
That's
with,
what I was like.
you
I
know,
like the
with tough
Stargirl
questions.
one better. I like
I
Stargirl
I
one
think
better.
you know what I think I'd go Stargirl, Smallville, Arrow. I think.
Yeah, didn't Arrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. I'll agree with that.
Okay.
Algorithm, Kata, as usual. Kata's in the Kata's there.
Howdy, Kata.
Hey, Kata,
I
how
saw the
you
question,
doing?
and I'm gonna just ignore it because I don't have a team right now. They squandered it, man. I was so upset the other night. I just turned off my TV and went to bed.
Josh, I'm good. You know, today's a good day. You know, no work. I'm gonna regret that tomorrow because I have a double route, and then I got to go in on my off day, which is Wednesday, because I had today off, which doesn't really seem fair. But
Yeah, it's really not.
like, I have to hurry up and get done because my oldest daughter's graduating kindergarten on Wednesday. So my week is looking up. I'm having a good week. And Into the Spider-Verse, well, Across the Spider-Verse comes out on Friday.
Yeah, Thursday.
And I saw it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I saw an amazing movie last Friday, The Little Mermaid.
It was really good. It was
If you
really,
guys
really
have
good.
not
yet.
seen it, you should see it. It's literally the best live action remake Disney has done, because they took elements from the original film and made them make sense in a live action setting.
Yeah.
It's better
Some
than
of the
Jungle Book.
I don't think so.
I don't think it's better than
Jungle Book was really good.
It's in my top 4 currently.
It's but Disney doesn't have a good track record with live action films. With their live action,
that makes sense. Yeah,
it's whereas Lion King was literally just a reskin. It was literally
that's
just
one
a
they
reskin
shouldn't have
of the
did that.
movie.
They shouldn't have did
I
that.
think no, they will redeem themselves with the Mufasa prequel.
Yeah, I'm very excited.
Wholeheartedly, they will redeem themselves. I'm 100%.
Although I wish that was just animated. Like I think that would do so well.
That would be amazing as animated.
Yeah. I don't get why it has to be live action.
Yeah. And then it's not James Earl Jones playing the young Mufasa. I don't know who this.
But that makes sense though.
Is it him? I thought they casted 2 other people.
It's 2 other people. I'm saying I don't know these other people.
Okay, yeah. I also just think like the director's like really good too.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I'm
I have
really
a lot of
excited
faith in him. So
who's directing it?
Barry Jenkins. He won an Oscar in like 2016.
Oh, okay.
And that comes out next year, right?
Yeah.
I believe so,
all
yeah.
goes well. If all goes well, it should come out next year.
Yeah, no, I'm actually very nervous for that because like Lion King is my favorite movie ever. So I'm, very excited for that, but also nervous all at the same time.
Yeah. But let's see who else is in the chat. Shaggy's Snack 23.
That's my cousin.
Oh.
Yeah, that's my cousin.
Well, welcome, Jose, Maya Dean.
This is a bit off topic, but I finally got full control over my original 3.
Oh yeah, you've been having a.
I've seen it. Yeah,
You've been having a couple of days.
Yeah, like what in the world has been going on? Like,
yeah, I apparently got the hack of all hacks.
jeez.
Like
simulator.
Nothing but terrible stuff.
Yeah.
I finally got control over my original YouTube with the 7.75K subscribers now. So
Batwoman didn't have an actual finale.
No.
Yeah, it was just a season finale. Then it got canceled.
We still don't know what that skeleton thing is.
Although I do think it was a solid end. Like I do think like outside of that cliffhanger, it was a good.
It was a solid ending.
You get rid of the cliffhanger.
Yeah,
it's a
perfect.
solid finale.
Yeah, it's
but
so
since they went against the grain and said, yeah, we're gonna get another season.
I hate that.
But boom!
I wish they would have.
Night.
Season 3 was so good.
It really was. I love Marcus. I love Marcus.
I don't think they should have redeemed him. I don't think the buzzer thing should have worked.
I think he should have just been evil.
Yeah.
Yes.
I literally thought the cliffhanger was Clayface to tie into like the Earth Prime comics.
That would have been cool.
I would have been.
That would have been cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, lightning bolt. It's it's the way it is though, man. It's the way
It's
it is.
only one for me because I
gotta
don't watch
deal.
Gotham Knights.
Yeah, I still haven't watched Gotham Knights from last week.
Oh yeah.
So it's just
was really,
one show
really
for
good,
me.
actually.
It was a good one.
I think it's my favorite yet, personally. I think it's a little better than 4.
I'm gonna check it out probably tomorrow.
Yeah,
probably.
I watch it.
Today I literally have nothing on my DVR. Like it's that time of year where nothing's recorded. So we just finished the back half of Young Rock. First of all, I am so glad that they went into his television career. I'm so glad that they did that. Like we just finished that whole back half. And we got to finish Law and Order, All American Homecoming. We're going to finish Kung Fu, even though that's canceled. I'm not finishing the Winchesters because I feel like that's going to just irritate me. I'm not going to finish Walker Independence because there's no point. So, you know.
No point. I never watched that show to begin with. Was it even any good?
The Winchesters?
No, I watched the Winchesters. Was
Walker Independence?
Walker Independence. Was that good?
It was. Bro, the first episode was fire.
I only watched the first episode, but then
the first episode and the second I loved where they were going with the story and how they didn't hide that, you know, whoever killed her husband was, you know, one of the main guys in that town. I love that they didn't hide that, but it's like CW, Nexstar, you didn't give this show a chance. Yeah. It's still under Jared Padalecki. It's still cheap. It's a period piece, but it's still cheap.
Right.
Y'all didn't give it a chance.
Yeah, I didn't watch it. I don't watch the other Walker either, but I heard it's better than the original one. So, I mean, it does really suck. I kind of thought it had a chance, right? I mean, you got a good star. It's like relatively cheap. It's like it's connected to like a larger universe. You would have thought it would have got picked up over like that. What's that show that like CW just aired? They just announced it's like a sequel to like some new to like some older show.
Librarians.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been cheaper than that. That like that feels like it might be like expensive. I don't know.
Man, it is what it like this year for TV is just. It just makes you laugh at the end of the day. Yeah, but. Let's talk about before we jump into these questions. Let's talk about Superman and Lois, just to get that out the way. It was another phenomenal episode. I'll say that heavy subject matter, but I enjoyed it. I really enjoyed it. Had some great. I never in a million years would I have expected them to tear up. Literally, the main street in Smallville. That's
tore that thing
ironically called Main Street. I found that hilarious. When Jordan said, like, yeah, I heard he killed somebody on Main Street. I said, oh, that's the name for real. Okay.
Yeah.
What were you all's thoughts? Because it's no point in talking about the rest of it. Like Bruno's goons were coming out of nowhere. Like
they was.
You just had Nat just standing there like with that cattle prod. Like, well, that's stronger than a cattle prod. That's what they use on that's what Chris Argent was walking around with on Teen Wolf.
Yeah, no, that one was bigger. That one was every time he unlocked it, it was always bolting with lightning. Like, nah.
Like you're walking around with a glorified cattle prod, just on your daughter. Like she's sitting in a diner with that. I found that like hilarious. But he gave them some. Like I don't know why they tried him. Like he was not going. But then you got all the townspeople. I said, first of all, the extras on these shows be hilarious. Cause that one black guy with the jacket on was bobbing and weaving with John. But I never expected them to just having like stuff has happened in the town. The town has seen things, but they've never seen it like this. Like so up close. I just know somebody got hurt in that last fight. I'm like, Clark, please. I get it. You got to fly in to do the one punch, but fly him out of there. You show up, just do the punch, and you stand there like, yeah, superhero punch, superhero landing. All we needed is Ryan Reynolds showing up in a Deadpool costume, like superhero landing.
God. Oh God.
That, like I said, why would you leave him right? Like, you're tearing up the town. That was
Well,
like that
common
was
sense would have told John Henry to just get up out of there, but he just sat there.
exactly. And then I said I had a feeling something like that was gonna happen because his suit's not ready yet. Somebody needs to. I'm surprised his arm is okay, but I guess he's used to catching the hammer now without the suit on. Because I was so scared, like when the hammer came at him. First of all, I was scared for John Henry because dude was going straight headshots. And I'm like, you still have that injury. That was not that long ago.
Yeah, I was about to say that was just last season.
Dude Henry Miller was giving straight headshots, and you have super strength. So I'm like, oh, I feel so bad for John. Their house is I didn't realize that their like house was like right there. I said, this doesn't look like it belongs in the town square. Like, it was just right there. I did not notice that. But when the fight started, I'm like, this is going to be good. But they start tearing up everything. I'm scared civilians are going to get hurt. I feel bad for Lana because she has to deal with this cleanup.
Oh, yeah.
This felt like, and I don't want to say it, but it felt like final season type things. You just start destroying stuff in a final season.
Well, yeah, they don't have that set currently, so it does like, make sense to me.
You just demolished the town. But when Henry Miller punched Clark so hard that he flew away and it snagged his cane.
Oh yeah, okay. I wasn't Clark, the only one that was bugging.
I said, Clark, you gotta stop getting knocked back like this. This is giving me Supergirl. It gave me Supergirl vibes. Bro, yes. And it's like he kept flying. Like, bro, you're not gonna come to and stop yourself. I said, I get it. They wanted to give John Henry that moment, but it's like, Clark, stop. Like, stop flying back. And then you stand there. It's certain decisions that they made in this episode that just felt like, seriously? Like, Clark's using his what's the word for it? Telescopic vision to look and see that John Henry is about to, knock Henry Miller's head all the way to Metropolis, but he's not flying towards him at the time. He's standing there screaming, John, no. You come in after the fact. Clark, just because you have super hearing and Jordan has super hearing does not mean they do. So, of course, he's not going to stop when you say, John, no. But I'm glad we're getting that Oliver Diggle tension, because if they would have ended the episode just right there when Clark landed behind John Henry and he says, you took it too far, that shot was
crazy.
They could have ended the episode right there, and I would have been fine. I didn't need the scene with Nat. I didn't need the scene with Nat and John back at home. I didn't need that. They could have saved that for this week's episode. They could have used that as the cold open. No, we don't have to see any words. We just see them talking, just like arguing. Leave that as a cold open. They should have ended the episode right there. What y'all think? I know Taj agrees, but they should have ended the episode right there.
No, I mean, I didn't have any issue with it. I thought, it all worked for me. I think that this is I think it's being written very well, because I feel like a storyline like this can be written not so well. Like we've seen this story done a bunch on either Arrow or Flash. Like, it's been done a lot, and it's not always done right. But it feels done in a way where it's like both characters can be right. Like both characters are objectively okay with where they stand. I think that's really good, because I'm like, okay, yeah, Clark is right here, but also John Henry Irons is also right here. So it's like, I think it makes for a really good show. It makes for like really good writing. But no, like, I really liked that whole fight. Like, I thought that fight was done very well.
So yeah, like, I agree. Like, that's just, if they would have ended right there, I would have jumped out my seat and be like, perfect cliffhanger ending. You just pick up with everything else next week. You just fade to black when Clark shows up and lands behind him. And John, just by going off John's mindset this entire episode, since the 2-week break, actually, how John has been, you can tell this is going to be an ongoing issue, probably until like when Lex shows up, I'd say.
Yeah.
Seeing that we only have like 4 more episodes,
4 weeks, yeah.
Yeah, this is going to be an ongoing issue. And honestly, if they want to push the envelope, they can keep this going because this beef is way better than what Todd Helbing did with Barry and Cisco.
Oh yeah,
way better, easily.
When was that? Season 5?
Season 3.
Oh yeah, yeah.
What about the brother thing?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that was.
This is
easily
rough. This is easily top 10, this is like number 1 on like DC TV, superhero TV in general beefs. And they're both right. Clark is seeing it from a side of, my wife's going through the same thing. I know he's doing bad things, but we shouldn't keep him from his family. And I wholeheartedly agree. I don't think you should keep them. At least don't keep Mateo away from his mother, because you're blaming the son for the sins of the parents. And that's not fair at all. Like that whole scene between Mateo and Nat, I said, "Oh, this is gonna get juicy." But I'm glad Jonathan reconciled. I'm glad Jonathan and Jordan reconciled. Yeah. Because as funny as their little snipes at each other have been, as funny as those have been, I'm getting tired of it. Because it's getting into that, I always say in my Superman Lois review, I don't like the kid drama. I don't need it every week. And it's getting to that point. It's been like that since he started doing the whole firefighters thing. So I'm glad that they nipped that in the bud, because they need to be there collectively as a friend group for Nat.
Yeah.
And that all folds into the main story. So I'm glad they went that way. Anybody else have thoughts? 3Dubs has been unusually quiet. He's if you don't know, he's endorsed by Cheez-Its. Yeah.
I think he's stuck in a silent film.
No, it's just I'm going to be right back because I have to go get something real quick, and then I'll be back. So
don't go.
I was just trying to figure out a time. I was just figuring out a time to, like, everyone was talking, so I didn't know exactly when I keep going. But since you acknowledged me,
I found these at Walgreens, and I haven't had them since I was a kid. So
oh, good gosh, I haven't had those in a while.
Yeah. Literal years. Oh my goodness.
Oh,
tastes like Cheese Whiz. But Simulator says, I'm scared of a love triangle with Jordan.
I am too.
Sarah. I am too. But you still got Candace in the picture.
I think they're smarter than that. I think these writers are much smarter than that.
Yeah, Candace in next episode.
Yeah. I wouldn't worry about that. I don't think. I think if anything, we're moving on from Sarah and Jordan. Like it feels like we're doing a parallel to Clark, Lana, and Lois. And then especially if we do move towns next season, it won't make it too awkward when Sarah's just not there, Yeah. So yeah.
Did Clark react about? I think he did.
Did he?
Like when he punched him, I think he said Henry. I think he said, I don't think it was a big reaction, but I think he expected to see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I see a lot of people talking about. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I'm just saying, I've been seeing that chat talk a lot about the lack of Lex, and it's been very aware that if season 4 happens, there will be a lot more Lex, and it seems like this is more of just like a tease for Lex than actual Lex. He's not the villain this season, and I'm personally okay with that.
Yeah,
definitely.
Don't force him too much.
Yeah.
The only thing is when he show up, if they don't get renewed, it's gonna be like, oh
yeah.
Only thing I like is we finally have a Lex that will be, which is uncommon, but will be physically imposing next to Superman.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm excited.
We got a Lex that does not need to use the Lexa war suit.
So do we think we'll see him next episode?
I don't know.
Maybe the cliffhanger. Maybe the
Yeah.
cliffhanger.
That
I
would
think
feel
so.
right, yeah.
Yeah, maybe the
Because-
cliffhanger. Other than that,
Yeah.
I don't think so.
I will say, at least they didn't take like a month break.
This season has been great. I've loved not
No,
having
they
like
getting
more
ready.
than 2
I
weeks
think
off.
they're getting ready to take one more break.
There is one more, I think.
I mean,
there's-
Yeah,
that's fine.
it's like
like
one
a,
more.
Yeah.
like a 2 week, 1 week break. That's cool. But like they did in season 1 where they aired 5 episodes, then went away, came back.
Yeah,
from
because they did
Flash,
that. They did that
They
with
went
Flash
away.
too last season.
Last year was a mess.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
Flash last season they gave us Armageddon, and then we was gone until March. It's like
Flash was
God.
horrible. Or Superman Lois was terrible last year. Like they would air like literally 2 episodes and then be off for 2 months.
It ruined the momentum.
Oh,
like,
it really did.
was
It made
bad.
season 2 worse than it really was.
Algorithm, I agree. This episode did give off mid-season finale vibes, or even season finale.
Yeah, so they have episode 10, 11, and then there's a week break, and then they air 12 and 13, it looks like.
Okay,
That's not too
that
bad.
makes sense.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that's not bad.
Yeah.
I'll take it though.
I was kind of annoyed. Episode 8, they made a big deal about Lex Luthor, but he wasn't mentioned at all in this episode. I can understand that.
Yeah, I was surprised they didn't mention him at all, especially discovering that Pia was the one that disguised her voice. They could have did something with that.
What's up, Mike? Cool. Just appreciate you being here, bro. Appreciate it. What will Lex be doing? Basically, I want to know why he stayed in prison this whole time and he didn't have to.
Right.
I think he's been planning something. I'm really excited to see what.
Yeah, like what has he been doing this whole time? Just waiting for revenge? Like
he's been
I don't
playing
know.
the long game.
Andrew Kreisberg wasn't
Yeah.
show running.
Oh no, yeah, he was for season
Was
season
he
3.
show running?
Yeah,
I
season
thought-
4. Season 4 is when he
I thought Todd
got
Helbing
removed.
was the lone showrunner because
that
it was
wasn't-
his
that wasn't
brother
until
in season
season-
1 and 2.
that
was-
wasn't until season 5 where he was the lone showrunner, I believe. It was either
thought he
season 4 or
stepped a-
5.
I thought he stepped away and then focused on Supergirl.
No, he got removed. Period. That's why Supergirl season 3 was so like wonky after the back half
Yeah.
because they
Supergirl.
couldn't use a
Okay.
lot of his stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they had to restructure everything.
Oh, that was a mess, man. They
Yeah,
destroyed like a almost perfect season. Like it sucked.
dude, season 3, man, when she got beat up by Rain,
Oh
I
yeah,
was like,
that's,
yo,
that
what?
is peak Supergirl. That is
Oh
it's
my
so good.
gosh, it was so good.
Let me see.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure Andrew was still a showrunner during season 3.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure. I could
During
be wrong,
season
but I think
3?
he was.
3 he
Of,
was,
Flash,
and then
of
4 he
Flash.
changed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was Andrew, Aaron, and Todd.
Yeah.
During season 3. But then see, that's where he felt because Todd thrives. You're right, Simulator. Todd thrives in telling grounded stories,
Yeah.
which is why Superman and Lois have been so good. A fantastical, and honestly, you could have made a more grounded version of the Flash. Always, you could have.
I don't
But he-
think people would have wanted that.
Yeah, but he's thriving doing that with Superman and Lois, though.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I think that's why Greg handpicked him for this show.
Yeah. It would have been a better show, I
Wouldn't
think.
you-
I mean, I
Wouldn't
think we
you
would
say
focus
that the Flash, when he talks down bad guys, considered grounded because there's not even fighting.
Bro, let's not talk about season 7 because every episode you got the Barry hands like this.
We're not going back to season 7. Can we not do this?
You don't have to do this.
Oh,
it's
God,
weird
season-
because
Come on.
like, I think the character of Flash does talk down his villains a lot. Like that's his whole thing.
he
doesn't-
do in the comics.
Yeah, like that's the thing. It's just they didn't handle it right. Like
yeah, they
I
didn't
think
handle it.
ultimately in the like series finale, like him trying to talk down Eddie and that being the ultimate thing, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, that worked.
it's
That
the
made sense.
Yeah, it made sense there. The issue is they didn't fight like at all. Like there was no lead up to that point that kind of I think made fans a little frustrated. And
I think that's because he
personally
was
really
gone.
Yeah.
Grant was gone, so it was kind of like
It also didn't help that like Eddie just like beat the he destroyed
He
Barry
beat the
whole
hell
time.
out of Barry.
Can
Like,
we
yeah.
talk about when Eddie just got his powers? He said, "You know what? Let me make a javelin and just throw it at Cuz."
And he threw him through like 5 cars and the bus stop again. What is up with the bus stops?
Should be dead.
Oh my
So that's where
God.
I said, "Grant stunt double."
He gotta be hurting. He flew through hella cars, man. Like, God damn.
Eddie was like,
So that's where
it's
the
like he
money
wasn't
went.
even doing a run.
Because they destroyed like
Yeah, that's
5
definitely where the
perfectly
money
good
went.
cars.
Yeah.
His left hand was like this. I said, Barry, you're not gonna dodge that at all. Like you're just gonna get hit with it. You're just gonna get hit with this lightning javelin. And he's like, Eddie, stop, bro. That does not work, except for on Eobard Thawne when Allegra does it.
That pissed me off. Oh my gosh.
Thawne, shut up. And then let's talk about the thing that killed me.
All of them got nerfed, man.
I'm cool with kissing, you know, but you have a whole 360 shot of them kissing, and
Like, why?
and Tom Cavanaugh is just in the back, like,
right. And then get hit again.
I said, why is he just laying in the background? For a 360 kiss. I said, y'all couldn't have had him disappear before then.
Right.
And then that makes Chester, like, the whole thing with him being shocked that much with, I'm like, first of all, Chester, they
He
didn't
should
teach
have
you how
died.
they didn't teach you how to fight. You didn't learn how to defend yourself. Thawne just creepily showing up like
When that
that was hilarious.
In the chair? In the
Them
chair?
showing up in the chair was hilarious.
Yeah.
I miss Tom Cavanaugh because his comedic timing, this entire
really good.
episode, the way he was heating Zoom, oh my God. He was talking to Zoom like he was a dumb little kid. He said kind of derivative of somebody. Wait, who is it? Oh,
He's like, where have I saying that
he
before?
said,
Oh, yeah.
he said, and then he told Cuz, he was like, I'm the fastest. Good, Zoom, you're catching up. I said, bro.
Him like
I
coming
said-
around these
I
stairs
honestly
was
think
so
though,
good.
I know.
Why
I know
was
that
he
they
up? Why was Thawne upstairs?
He's like, whoop.
And he just swung around the side.
He's
Like,
Yeah,
what
it's
the
so
hell?
good.
Making Speed Force. I said,
Man
Now,
was
listen,
waiting
listen,
for the
listen.
perfect entrance.
I know it was funny, but I do think Zoom can take Thawne. But like Godspeed talking smack to him, I was like, please no. You would get smacked up. Please.
First of all,
stop.
Godspeed.
Stop.
You're what? Pushing 40 and you're still obsessed with an 18-year-old. Go somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Please go have several seats, dude. You really think? And honestly, people get mad about the clone thing and people get mad about the lightning sword. But go back to 2016 and Flash Rebirth.
Yeah, he does.
He
that
was
stuff.
Barry's biggest problem.
Yeah.
He was Barry's biggest problem. Why? Because he was playing the hero and he was playing the villain.
Yeah.
That man was so fast that he was showing up to beat himself up and Barry. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
The way they turned this man into a joke in the show, and it's only because they were trying to make him solely be a villain. The only reason why he was going so crazy is because he let the power get to him in the comics.
Yeah.
Godspeed is more of an anti-hero. Thawne, now him being taken down by Thawne grabbed this man by the back and literally just snapped his neck in the comics. Like, didn't even think twice about it. He just, and they were supposed to be working together. Barry and Godspeed went to get Thawne to help fight Paradox. Thawne said, you know what, Barry, I don't like you. I don't know this guy either. Let me just kill him because I can't kill you. They made my man a joke in the show. I will never forgive them. I will never forgive them.
I think it also comes down to people just keep begging for him. A lot of people don't read the comics, so they
wanted him because of the suit. Because the suit is cool,
and they thought he was a villain, which he's not.
He's not. He's worked with team. He's been a member of the Flash family for years. He got his powers the same time as Avery and as Wallace.
Oh yeah,
which
he
is the
did.
black version of Wally. He got his powers at the same time as Mina. Now, if they wanted a comic book accurate evil speedster, they should have made Mina an evil speedster because that's who she was in the comics. If they wanted to be comic book accurate and have somebody working with Grodd was controlling Mina. He wasn't working with Red Death.
That would have been a cool story.
That would have been cool.
It's so much more. That's why I implore people to read up on these characters. When you find out they're getting introduced, was Mina's suit comic book accurate? Yes. Even down to the cow. Even though the cow shouldn't have been a thing in the show. I agree. Like everything. What's up, Eric?
Kevin is shaking his head.
Disagree with all of it. All of it. Whatever you just said, I completely disagree.
I'm talking about how they massacred Godspeed, which is something this is something that you and Paigey talked about back when they were first introducing Godspeed, and it was the chubby one, and how you all were saying that he was never a villain. So they shouldn't have tried to make him a villain. Like people are mad because they did the lightning sword. It was corny because it was never in the actual comics. Eric Wallace seen it on a comic book cover, a variant cover at that, and said, "Oh, this will work." The whole cloning thing. They're trying to say that that's something that Godspeed did, but he would never split himself into that many different, copies. It was just one, and he would run around beating up Barry and himself. But once he was found out about that, he said, "Oh, screw it. I'm just gonna beat you up, Barry." Like honestly, Barry's not the one who finally took down Godspeed. It was Wally.
So, do we ever find out are his clones like time mirages, or are they actual physical time remnants of him?
It's actual. I think it's like a speed, like almost a derivative of what Zoom did.
Well, see, I'm a little confused because how many dead bodies are there in that building after the fight with Cecile? If that's actually
she wrecked everybody.
What power was she using?
We don't know.
I don't know.
She could do everything.
But I will say, if those are actual people, where are you locking them up at? Are all of them speedsters?
I think behind the scenes, it's the blonde guy that was in 601. He was the stunt double of the suit.
The screaming guy.
Yeah.
First of all,
God, no.
He was actually the one first one to actually wear the Godspeed suit. So
what's up, Andy?
He would be physically, I wish he was Godspeed because he looks more menacing.
Yeah.
than
Now,
the
what I
actual
do
Godspeed.
I need to know if Canada Grass was able to get inside that building. And I wish you would have been able to get footage of Danny Nicolette just running around.
Can we not? I don't think no one wants to see that.
I said she was taking down all of them. How is she that fast?
She had no technique.
I can tell that as soon as she flew for randomly, this is our reaction.
Just keep using it. Stop doing it.
I should not have sent you that.
Three Dubs, where are those questions? Because honestly, I didn't hate the last episode. I'll honestly say the final episode for me, the first half of it ended after the speedsters all met in, the negative speed force, which for some reason they thought make it Joe West's house, although they could have just made it Eddie's apartment that one time we saw it if they wanted to make him feel. Why give him a whole different backstory to make him feel comfortable? We're gonna leave that alone. But it's the first half stopped right there, and then the other half stopped. Well, the other half started after Allegra.
After the fight.
Yeah, after the fight.
Yeah. That whole part pissed me off, man.
Here's the first question.
So our first question comes from Darren. I don't know him, but I see him a lot. I see him a lot on Twitter.
Block him. He's terrible.
He has a lot of curly hair. It's weird. Like Napoleon Dynamite.
He started for the tire cover of DJ Eric. He's behind it. Like
But we're all going to give our takes on these questions and or statements. But
There's
if
18
you
of
want
them.
to. So he says, besides Cisco and Kara, who's one character you would have liked to have seen back this season that we didn't get to see? For me personally, I would have liked to have seen Black Lightning. That's my guy. I would have loved to have seen Black Lightning just one more time and impart some of that Joe wisdom.
Yeah.
3 Dubs.
I would have liked to see. Well, this is like I have two. So first one, I kind of wanted to see the actual comic book Hot Pursuit, and the girl that is Hot Pursuit is Patty Spivot. So I kind of wanted her to be a superhero, as like Crisis made her into like a superhero with a new fresh coat of paint and stuff like that. So I kind of want to see her, and then and written better, because she was like in there for a hot second, like a hot pursuit second. And my second one I would have liked to see was Wally West's actual wife in the comics.
Linda Park.
She dated, Linda Park. She dated Barry in like season 2.
That would have been
season
cool.
I would have liked season 1, season 1.
Yeah.
She was in both. Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to Wally to finally meet someone else, as the comic book guy. Like, hey, I'm Wally West. I'm Linda Park. Nice to meet you. Kind of like that.
I can't lie. I wanted to see that too.
Yeah, same.
Tosh?
He stole my first one. It was Patty, definitely, but but another would have been Jax. Like, he started out on Flash. We haven't seen him.
Yeah,
we haven't seen him since Legends season 3. Like, and he lives in Central City. It would have been just nice, like an homage episode or something to him and Stein. Like, that would have been nice.
What's funny is we actually got like 3 Firestorms in the series. We've gotten Ronnie, we've gotten Jax, and we've gotten the other guy that
Jason.
Jason
Caitlin,
Rush.
Yeah, Caitlin. Caitlin talked to him.
Yeah,
Eric, I'm surprised they didn't do that.
I know Eric's gonna say.
What? Who am
Snart.
I gonna say? Well, I would like to see Snart, but I actually would like to see Black Siren, Black Canary back.
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I really love that version of her character, and when they announced the spinoff, that's the only character that I really cared about. I mean, no offense to Dinah or Mia, but yeah, she's the only one I cared about. I thought that was and that version actually had a connection to the Flash, so it made sense to have her come back.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I kind of like the fact, kind of like the idea that technically the Flash actually saved Arrow. They're like, we made a boo-boo. Can we have Black Siren?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I don't care what anybody says. That version is the better version of the characters.
100%. 100%.
What we got next?
Skipping me,
Darren, did you say?
Oh
yeah.
It's my question.
It was his question. Like,
I'm sorry.
No, I mean, if I could pick anyone, I would pick Martin, because like he's my favorite Arrowverse character ever, and he was a big part of Team Flash very early on. But I do think it's very weird that we couldn't get Bart back. I mean, he's been such a massive part of the show the last couple of years. It's weird that like Nora's here. Where is Bart? So yeah, I think either Bart or Martin would probably be my pick.
No, I honestly think Eric, you and Paige said this before. I remember somebody saying it, but I think it was you guys. The only reason why he was able to get Jordan Fisher as Bart in the first place is because Broadway was shut down.
Yeah.
If Broadway was, if Broadway had gone
Jordan
dark,
Fisher is a very talented young actor, and for Broadway, that's like he can sing and he's a great actor.
Yeah.
So they really want that.
I literally, my first film that I saw him in was the beach one, Teen Beach or something.
Teen Beach, yeah.
With Teen Beach.
Oh yeah.
Where they're in a movie and they come into actual real life and stuff like that, and Jordan Fisher was in that movie, and I thought he was great.
Yeah, that's the only reason why. And I figured going into going in like to later seasons and everything's opening back up.
Yeah.
Getting him back is gonna be an issue.
Sure.
Yeah.
And here's question number 2.
Okay, this is coming from the stranger. In my opinion, this is more like a statement. In my opinion, season 5 of The Flash wasn't the worst season of the show. I personally think if they gave Cicada a voice actor like they did with Zoom and Savitar, it would have made the villain better. And if they didn't bring in the whole second Cicada, they could have wrote Nora a lot better.
And he also says, what's your take on it? Because obviously I didn't clip that because he put it on 2 different posts.
Yeah, when you could pull it down so we can see Eric too.
Oh yeah. By the way, there's bigger and longer posts as we go down, so he's going to cover land soon.
Oh, that's fine. So I would have to say, I think, and this may be a hot take, I don't think season 5 would be that bad. Like, would leave that bad of a taste in people's minds if one, they didn't have Chris Klein doing the whole stupid voice thing. When Chris Klein was just being regular Orland Dwyer, he was great. And if Nora would have been directed better, if they didn't have Jessica Parker Kennedy acting like she was 12, but Nora's like in her 20s, either make Nora super young or have her act like the adult version. And they try to make it seem like she didn't have her father in her life, so that's why she's acting so immature. That's not how that's not how that works.
It's like we just saw Shazam gender swap. Like it's a female Shazam.
So like I didn't have an issue with having 2 cicadas. That was our introduction into like the 2 villains a season thing. Mm-hmm. I did not have an issue with that. I did think Grace's motivations. I didn't mind her when she came in and she had different powers. It shook up the season because she was more more menacing, honestly, than Orland. Like, now, don't get me wrong, Orland Cicada racked up a body count. I wish we could have seen more of that. If we didn't have to deal with him talking, I would have been cool. Like, I don't think they needed another voice actor for that. He could have been a silent villain for a majority of it. For like when he first came on the scene and he attacked them at the ocean front after they got done fighting Block. Oh, I was excited because I'm thinking, oh, they're going to take this in a whole different direction. We're getting a metahuman serial killer. I remember being very, very excited for this season, especially since it wasn't another speedster villain. Yeah. They're going to keep going after the Thinker with these, like regular villains. I was excited, but for me, it was just the voice. It was the way Nora acted. And I mean, splitting it off in the season was cool. I didn't have a problem with the 2 different cicadas.
For me, it kind of opened the world of the doppelgangers, because if we think about it, the second cicada is actually a doppelganger of Smallville's Alicia, first
both crazy
girlfriend.
They're both
crazy. So it was kind of like they hinted at that Smallville was tied to the Arrowverse even more by using actors from Smallville. So for me, it was like there's finally a doppelganger of there's more doppelgangers of Smallville. So is it really tied? And then we get Crisis, and it kind of was, but I still refuse to call that Smallville. I think it's like an offshoot of it. I no, in no mind, I think that Superman would just give up his powers and be like that. Yeah, I don't see him being like Peter Parker's Spider-Man 2, where
you just jumped the whole question. Tosh, the whole. Do you think season 5 would be better if Cicada was just one person? Did you want the voice actor thing?
I
I'm
didn't like
kind of
season
glad
5
they
at
switched
all.
it up. Yikes!
I don't think anything would have saved that season for me. I just Cicada was bad. Them having Jessica Parker Kennedy act like she was 15. Like, nah, like Barry took a backseat to his own show in that season.
Yeah, it
And
did
I was
turn
just like,
into the Nora
nah.
show.
Yeah, I was just
It
like,
was-
nah, I'm good.
It was the Nora.
I still truly think if this was an Eric Wallace season, it would have been better. Like I think if you give him like 6 episodes and that's it, it would have
That's a
been
hot
really
take.
good. Because I think like a metahuman serial killer is awesome. Like that's such a
He
smart
wouldn't have
idea.
killed anyone though.
The premise of that was amazing.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's so good. I just think 23 episodes of it is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like it's insane. Like
Jump away, jump away,
Yeah,
jump
like,
away, jump
Max-
away.
13 episodes max. And I think, and like I think they tried to mix it up by like having 2 different versions of her, but it's still the same story for 23 episodes straight, and it's a mess.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the whole linking their minds thing. That was
Oh.
weird. That was weird.
Also, that suit, Barry suit
Yeah.
for season 5.
Oh yeah. Mm. Remember the
Oh, yeah,
video
that-
he
that-
posted, but he had to take it down because they were body shaming him, but he just went on like a rant.
Yeah.
Eric, I know
Yeah,
you
that
hated
was
season
like-
5, Eric. I know you did. I
What?
remember those after parties from season 5.
What about him? What?
It just left a bad taste in your mouth. 95%. The jumping away did.
After watching back season 9, I think season 9 and season 5 for me are very equal in terms of quality.
Oh,
And
yeah.
the only thing that this is literally the only thing that saves season 9 for me is episode 10. Episode 9 was good, but episode 10 was the best episode of the season in my opinion.
Yeah.
It not only connected to to season 1, which I think seasons 1 and 2 were the most superior seasons of the Flash, in my opinion, as a full season of TV.
Mhm.
But think about this: since Eric Wallace was dealing with the Flash in general, like he's had mostly shorter seasons, except for the very
Yeah.
first season that he did.
Mm.
How would he have managed 23 episode seasons? I don't even want to think about that. Right.
Oh, geez.
But I think season 5 has individually some really good episodes.
Yeah.
I think the season overall, because of the way Cicada was done, was bad. The switch up idea with Cicada going from, one person to another was interesting.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm bummed out because I'm going to do a full-on like Flash full season video at some point. I'm going to watch the whole series from beginning to end one more time. And I'm going to count how many times Barry actually defeats a character, because I don't think it's a pretty high number comparatively. And in season 5, you start to see that really happen, because I think Cicada, both versions, are way too powerful for the Flash in general.
I think except for me, the 22 episodes of the first season, I think he does defeat every single metahuman of the week per se, but that doesn't cover that. Even with that, I don't
he
think
gets
that's
beat up
like,
by every single metahuman of the week.
yeah,
that's true.
if you do like the entire time of he gets knocked down and get back up again, it's going to feel like an hour.
Yeah.
I want to also point out
I'm
that
just
one episode does not a good season make. Like, you can't
No.
Yeah.
say that one episode makes the season good. If that's the case, a lot of shows would be the best shows ever because they had one good episode of them.
Yeah.
If that
I
was
would
the case,
argue. Yeah, go ahead.
Flash Time would be the best episode of season
Oh,
4.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And-
Flash Time is an
Yeah,
individual
definitely,
episode of
yeah.
the Flash. I think Flash Time is an individual episode of the Flash shows just how powerful he actually is,
Sure.
and then they never really
Never.
use that again. I mean, I think they use it in
Armageddon.
the courtroom scene or whatever. But think about this: like, literally, no one beyond that episode should be able to beat the Flash other than another speedster
Yeah.
or somebody that can nullify his
Yeah.
power.
One thing that I'll also say is I think season 5 has kind of, I don't like season 5 at all, but I think what makes it slightly better to me than like some of the current seasons is just its cast. Like at least season 5 has like Cisco and Caitlin and Joe and Ralph, where like season 9, I literally care about 2 characters and that's
And
it.
Sherlock.
Yeah.
Sherlock.
Season 5 cast was
So what were
pretty
you
great.
Sherlock.
What were you going to say, DJ Eric? Before I kind of
No, go ahead.
stole
You're
your
good.
spotlight.
No, you're good.
Oh,
No, I was
no,
done. I like I said, I felt the way I did about season 5 and season 9 very evenly. That's all I was going to say.
For me, the season 4, if they didn't do the body hopping, it would probably be like
So good.
really good.
Me
Yeah.
and my wife
And,
were just talking
it-
about the last
Kind
night.
of it kind of lost me with the whole like 5 different body hops.
Yeah.
And then we get to, like the actual good like what do you call it, Daredevil hallway fight scene, and I'm like, where was this? Because he's like throwing people on left and right.
It was that like middle
If he
chunk.
just wanted all their powers, he could have just taken all their powers.
Yeah.
Yeah, he could have he could have thought a way to extract. He's smart, he's super smart, right? He could have thought a way to extract the every single power from everyone, and then
Or
they
just
figure
took
out
Ralph
how
first.
to. Wow, I see how.
Okay.
But, yeah.
Read up.
Next question.
Next question.
Let's do it.
Luckily, I have it memorized, so I know exactly where I started. Told me to take it down.
Taz, Toxic Taz. What was your favorite big reveal from throughout the Flash's run? For me, I'd have to say the biggest reveal was the whole Jay Garrick thing, being a doppelganger of Henry Allen. That's still by far one of my favorite reveals. Seeing Barry's face, seeing how John Wesley Shipp was switching up his acting between Henry Allen and Jay Garrick when he said, what? I'm like, oh Jesus, Jay Garrick's kind of a dick. I loved it.
Yeah.
For me, it was the Zoom, but it wasn't the character's reveal of Jay Garrick. It was actually when the audience found out it was Jay Garrick, like as Zoom.
Oh, you talking about when they did
When
the clip?
Yeah, when they took off the mask. Yeah, when he took off the mask and was all kind of angry because he had to kill himself.
Yeah.
And his plan kind of like derailed, and as an audience member, I was like, this, like, I couldn't, like, I literally thought Jay Garrick was young in his prime. I didn't know that he was going to be
Yeah,
Zoom.
I thought they were going with
So
the
for me-
52 route. The same. I thought they were doing the new.
Yeah, I was like, this is awesome. And then season 1, when they did the reveal of that, I literally thought that Wells was actually some future version of Barry at first, until like episode 9 when they revealed the suit. I was like, well, I was like, so Barry kills in the future. That's nice. When you first stabbed Simon Stagg, I was like,
Oh yeah,
well,
yeah.
I literally thought that they're going with a dark Barry Allen from the future at first, because I wasn't too keen on comics. I wasn't too well versed on Barry Allen in the comics, so for me it was like he's at the age that he could be a future version of Barry, like in his 50s or 40s or whatever his age was. But yeah, I was completely surprised about that. And then Savitar, they kind of revealed it too early for me.
What are you doing?
Oh, no.
You're playing musical chairs.
3 no. You're supposed to give one reveal.
Right.
Like,
Went on the whole
and-
tangent.
I love his enthusiasm. We don't have a lot of time, 3 no.
Okay, well, that was military.
I love your enthusiasm, though, bro.
The original Wells reveal from season 1 when they went to Star City and found his body.
Oh yeah.
Like
That
that
was-
one.
yeah,
that
that-
one was really good because I didn't
was
expect
really
his
good.
body to still be around, and I was like, okay, yeah, that one was really good. That was my favorite.
Eric.
Probably when Cecile was revealed as the lead character of the show. That's probably my favorite. I'm surprised they waited till the final episode to tell us.
They
but
said
I guess
favorite.
oh favorite. Sorry, misunderstood that. My favorite reveal of the show. Probably when they revealed that Nora was working with Reverse Flash.
That was really good.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that was one of my favorites, and it was in a not great season, obviously. But I
We're all
like
guessing
the
it, though.
reveal. So
Yeah.
I think that was the coldest thing they ever did to find out that his
Yeah.
daughter's working with
That was
Eobard.
good.
That was pretty dope.
And how they were
Very
making it seem
handled
like
that thing
his
terrible.
old fate was trying to come through. Eobard Thawne, like I was like a mixture of like Matt Letcher and Tom.
And I know it didn't make a lot of sense, but that scene where he broke out of the lab when they were going in with them and Eobard got his powers and was able to, that was frightening. Like,
Yeah.
that was a really, really good scene. That's probably
felt
one of
like
my favorite
Zoom all
scenes in
over
all
again.
season. So,
the fact
yeah.
that they made his prison suit the same colors as his Reverse Flash suit was hilarious.
Yeah.
That was the yellow that faded to black. I said, you guys are really committed in 2049 jail, huh?
Yeah,
Darren?
that was great.
Darren?
I don't know if this one counts, and it, technically wasn't in a Flash, but I just think like having Ezra Miller pop in and interact with Arbery is insane. Like no one knew that was happening. No one knew that was a thing. I was in complete shock for like the next 24 hours. Like that was insane.
Yeah.
No, that was
So you're
bonkers.
saying Ezra Miller was the villain of that scene?
Like that's something nobody would ever
No.
expect to happen.
That was crazy.
That's something nobody would ever expect to happen.
Question number 4.
Simulator
good.
says the Wells killing Cisco was an amazing reveal.
So good.
Savitar's real identity reveal was this is
Nah, I
from
like it.
Mayada, the homie. It's more of a honestly, well, like
Would we get like more spin-offs
bouncing off the Flash's legacy and see more of the Flash friendly relating to the Flash comics? In a perfect world, yes. If the CW was still the CW that we've had for the past 10 years, I believe that we would have gotten a spinoff of the Flash, something featuring, because we have so many different speedsters coming now, like Jess Chambers. It's so much that you can do with Jess Chambers. I still see a lot of people confused, trying to confuse them, for Jesse Quick. But in reality, Jess Chambers is from Earth 11. Jesse Quick is their great aunt. Jess was basically her Kid Flash until they decided to travel to Earth 0, which is Earth Prime in the comics. They come to help because they come with a message. It's something going on. And Jess just decides to stay as the Flash in the future anyway. The Flash of the future has a dope suit. We see Max Mercury, somebody that we wanted to see on the show for a very, very long time. And then Avery. I wanted Avery to get powers last season. And by making Avery a more mature speedster, it puts her up there in the same age range as Wally, which is something that they got their powers at the same time in the comics. So making them the same age is cool. They're older speedsters. They can learn from Barry. And then in the future, those are other people that Bart and Nora can look up to.
Yeah.
So it was Avery Cho, the one where Wally
Avery Ho.
Yeah, Avery Ho was the one where Bart and Nora go to the past and
Yeah.
Okay. Because I literally thought there was something. I thought it was the Phantom Girl at first, the one that appeared, with no powers and not actually from the Legion of Superheroes. So I literally thought it was her, and then I was like, I don't remember her.
Anybody else have any thoughts on like potential, what you would like to see for potential spinoffs before we move on?
Superman and Lois.
I would have liked to see the one that really wanted to see was Wonder Girl. The new incarnation of her. Like,
yeah, we
as
see
saw,
how that
like,
we see how that works when you try to adapt newer characters that are like not even that old.
I think that would have worked over Naomi though.
Yeah.
No, let's think about it. Naomi did not work. Godspeed did not work. Bloodwork is the only one that did work. Bloodwork is the only one that did work. All of these characters debuted in 2016.
You know why they don't work though, right? You know what the reason is?
Why?
Because a lot of them can't exist without their predecessors.
That's true.
So Wonder Girl would exist in a world without Wonder Woman, or they'd have to like make up some excuse for why she's there. Same thing with like Naomi. Naomi is supposed to exist in a world with Superman.
Yep.
Sure.
And that doesn't work without Superman. So these spinoff characters work, but you have to lay the groundwork out first.
Yeah,
and they just don't want to take the time to do that.
Yeah. And like even with Godspeed, everybody was so gung-ho on Godspeed because, oh my God, his suit's so cool. His suit is white and gold. Godspeed was killed by Reverse Flash in the most predictable way. You got your neck snapped because you let your guard down.
Well, the other thing is they could have done Godspeed properly. All they had to do is make it a person that works at CCPD.
Yep.
And then connect that to Barry, and then don't do the bus meta thing or switch it up somehow so you do another metahuman Storm or something. Like they could have done it. I don't know why they just didn't do it the correct way.
That was a Todd Helbing decision to make him from the future.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
When Godspeed got killed, how did he grow a goatee so fast?
He's in jail.
Did he like? Apparently, when he's dead, he just keeps growing.
Who kills him though? Like that's something where they leave off like
who kills the Reverse Flash?
That's true.
In the yellow suit.
Which time?
Yeah, which time?
Like we got a lot of options here.
The Matt Lester version died twice in the last 2 years. So
it would have been really cool to see both there. I don't know how that would have worked, but like it would have been cool to see Matt and Tom.
This he was just delivering fan service. That's all it was.
Yeah.
Yeah. How Kazi says, how has Cecile developed this many powers? And more crucially, despite having a lot of episodes dedicated to her, why don't we see her training to hone these powers? I don't know. Cecile, well, I mean, I've been saying it on Twitter for weeks now. I don't think it's appropriate for YouTube, but we all know. I mean, Danny Nicolette was just out there protesting with Eric Wallace in front of WB Studios. We know what's going on. All right. He's her favorite. That's the favorite of him for some reason. I don't know. We can move on. Everybody doesn't like. I mean, Darren loves Cecile.
I do not. I do not like Cecile. I will say though, like she was a series regular before he came on board, or like as a series regular.
Season 5,
yeah. I think that she was a series regular and they didn't know what to do with her and they had to find literally something to do with her. And like making her a superhero was just kind of the natural course of what the show thought was best. And again, I'm not blaming it all on Eric Wallace. I'm not blaming it all on these writers. I think, it comes to a point where like, you don't want to fire her. You don't want to like get rid of this cast member you worked with for like 9 years. So I think I think moving her to a series regular might be one of the worst things the show ever did. I don't understand why. I don't understand like back in season 5, what was their thought process and like what Todd's plan for this character up until how many seasons.
She for me personally, when I thought of Cecile, I'm like, she is the worst one to actually know what she wants to do for a living because she was a prosecutor. She was, and then she found out metahumans exist, and then she starts defending them. Now she wants to be a mom, and then she wants to be like a superhero now.
Yeah,
like, is she going to quit that job too?
Which I want to point out in the future when they talk to her and she arrives and they like, you haven't seen your family and I don't know. Doesn't make sense because her daughter would be an adult by then, but you can't see your family for so long. We know that she can fly and move at super speed apparently because she can fly around like Superman. So what's stopping her from flying out and seeing her family? It doesn't make any sense.
What else randomly disappeared that she could have used? Nash's teleportation balls.
Mhm.
They still have them 20 years later.
Like when she
They
did
must have had a
Hollow.
big supply of those. That's all I gotta say.
when she was complaining about in the episode where she she's
The
been
random
away from
complaint.
about her not being with Joe at and stuff like that. All you have to do is call Wally, use those balls.
Yeah.
The when you throw down and you appear. Like there is so many things you could have done, and why are you complaining that you can't do it?
By that point, there should be like 12 speedsters in that city. Like there should be plenty of people
Yeah.
to take
Yeah,
their
I'm like,
places.
you can literally call Barry and he'll be like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm on it, and super speeder over. And so I'm like, why are you complaining about not seeing Joe when you can actually see
I
Joe?
actually think like Paigey surmised that because of what happened with Grant's availability, they had to squeeze in things
Yeah.
to fill in time, and that felt like a time sink to me
Yeah.
because it only took a portion of that one scene and then a separate scene with Chester, and then it was squashed. It was like if you take that scene out and have her just go there and do what she was supposed to do, it wouldn't have changed anything because it didn't change anything for her character. So,
And then she has the yips apparently because she couldn't figure out why her powers were coming in and out.
What we got next, 3 Dubs? Randomly pick. We ain't gonna be able to get to all of them. Another one from Kazi. Lance, do you think Eric Wallace isn't interested in developing Barry Allen at all because it just feels like he doesn't really like the character? He kind of bit himself in the butt with this question. Like he said something along the lines of he was like, he kind of like irritated him or something that he found out that it was going to be the final season and they were only getting 13 episodes. He said, so we had to focus on Barry and Iris. He always said that the Flash was more of a, and correct me if I'm misquoting this, but he said this was a group show at one point in time. And honestly, honestly, he should have just focused on Barry and Iris.
Team Flash always existed to support the Flash.
Exactly.
It wasn't ever like a group thing. It was Team Flash was there. If you want to consider like another character that was as closest to important as Barry as possible, it would be Iris. But outside of that, we didn't really need, like, this season had more side character content than it had Barry content.
Yeah.
Yeah, take like Superman and Lois, for example. It's Superman and Lois, so they're going to be the focus. It's the Flash. He should be the sole focus.
But, and I think Taj will agree with me on this, Eric Wallace coming from Teen Wolf, where Taj, you can agree, in the show, when, and even 3 Dubs, in the show, when he came on in those like latter seasons, it's Scott stopped being the focus.
Yeah.
It started being about, the pack all the time. So Eric Wallace does this a lot. He does this a lot.
He's like, no one should be left out, but then I don't want the actual leads to be the focus anyways. So
he should have went to Legends, where like literally that's what the show is. Like it's about like a group of found family, and like it's very goofy and silly, like what he likes.
Yeah.
Maybe that would have been a better fit for him.
Legends would actually be perfect because
it'd be a much better fit for him, I think.
Yeah, because like no one's the focus on that show.
Yeah.
No, I wouldn't say that. I just think that
Sarah is, but
I think Sarah became the focus. Yeah.
Well, no, I actually think that they did a decent job at like focusing on a bunch of different characters like at one time. Like I think they do a much better job with like certain characters. So yeah, no, it's weird.
No, it's the like worst season finale ever in the history of season finales. I mean, like they're all in jail now. Never going out. Okay. Hey. King Vader says, Andy says,
you're never a shill, Andy. And also, you shared that picture the other day with your chiseled Superman jawbone structure. I see it. I see it.
Yeah, just to
and this does happen on a lot of long running shows. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
There's no show that like runs 9, 10, 11 seasons that don't have many issues. Like they all run into problems throughout the way.
I'm gonna make a show, and it's going to be called Andy and Friends, but I'm going to be the lead character.
So King Vader says, do you think we should have gotten a 5-episode crossover event in the final season? DJ Eric,
No,
DJ Eric wants to answer that. So
we only had 13 episodes.
What is with crossover? It's only the only show left in the Arrowverse.
Like if
you could have cameos
characters.
and guest stars, but you can't cross over with anything unless you're crossing
like
over
Armageddon,
Superman and Lois or something like that.
like the Armageddon 5.
But
episodes.
Armageddon, but the reason why I didn't call it a crossover is because those shows they don't exist anymore.
He literally just pulled in former Arrowverse actors.
Yeah. I mean, it's those characters are guest starring in an event, but there's no crossover because that would require crossing over from one show to another.
Good
So it's
point.
not really a crossover, which is why Eric Wallace said it's not really a crossover. We talked about that back when he mentioned that. So yeah, it's not you're not crossing over. So would I want like other guest stars? Yeah, we've named a bunch of them we'd like to see, but I don't think there's any crossover event that would have worked unless you wanted Gotham Knights or Superman and Lois.
Oh God, no.
I mean, I call BS about him saying that he wanted to bring over characters from like Titans and like Superman and Lois and like Stargirl. Like I have a hard time believing they would get. I have a hard time believing they would get any like Titans characters like that. Like that's a large order.
Yeah, I would have liked to see the talking of Arbery and Dick Grayson.
That would have been cool. Yeah,
It would have been cool.
That would have been epic.
Yeah,
but we did kind of see it being like he literally ran into Gar, so I'm kind of like,
sure.
So that was an interesting interaction. But it was
Well,
also
they could have did Wally. They could have did Wally and Dick Grayson.
I want to talk
cool,
about
actually.
Before we go to the next question. I want to talk about this Blackest Nights stuff. I think that would have been a horrible idea.
It would have been bad
because for Blackest Nights to work, you need lanterns.
Not only do you need lanterns, but the story kind of focuses on the lanterns. Like you would need a lanterns series to properly do Blackest.
You can't just say we're gonna do Blackest Night and focus on Necron. Yes, you know your comic book lore, Eric Wallace. You know it so well. You've written for DC. You know it, but you can't do a lantern centric story.
We're supposed to be getting a lantern show at some point
in the future.
Hey Lance, you're more comic book, you know more comic books. Did Flash ever get a Green Lantern ring?
There's been versions of him.
There's been versions,
ring. Not really Green Lantern. The Flash has had lantern rings.
Yeah, but not Green Lantern.
Yeah,
I will
the
say,
colors. I think he had the Blue Lantern ring at one time.
That was one of the most popular ones. Yeah,
I will say, I think most of the crossover events though are based very, very loosely on most of the comic books. Like I think you could I bet in his head he has a very direct vision, like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take this thing from the Blackest Night and have nothing to do with the actual comic. So I think it could still have been cool. I think it still could have worked, with that whatever weird, like new adaptation of the comic that he's going
I think
for.
Deathstorm was like a taste of what he probably would have done with the Blackest Night story.
Yeah, I'm like, we got like Deathstorm from season 2 that was like a weakling, and then we got that one. I'm like, I want that one.
When they said, back then though, when they did Deathstorm in season 2, I was like, oh my god, they're doing it. And I was like, oh, never mind. No.
I also want to. I also kind of want to add. I do think that there were plans for John Diggle that never happened. Like he was obviously supposed to get a show. He was. I think at one point he was supposed to get that ring. So I wonder if in those original plans, if this would have been almost like a backdoor pilot for John Diggle to get some kind of his own show or something. I don't know. We'll never know. But
yeah, Justice Hughes not happening anymore. So
nope.
In a perfect world, it would be.
I said it was never going to happen from the beginning. I mean, I was saying that from the very beginning.
We all had to hunch that. Like I said, it was getting up to where it's going to cover Lance now.
Are you going in order?
No, I just
pick another one. I love Kazi, but that's a lot. Giovanni from Twitter. Why do they have apples? Why not oranges?
You clipped out my comment. That was the reply to my comment.
Oh, go to the next one.
What's happening?
There's another one.
Did you?
How about that one?
How would you like to see if the speedster fight
They redone
in a
the
perfect
Speedster fight.
world?
Yeah.
And I think this would go for everybody. In a perfect world,
Yeah.
you have Barry versus Cobalt Blue.
Mhm.
Cobalt Blue with Blue Lightning.
Mm-hmm.
Zoom going against Jay Garrick.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Bart going against Godspeed.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Nora, not even Nora. Wally going up against Savitar to get that,
I actually think Savitar going up against any of the OG Team Flash
Yeah.
members would have made more sense because it's literally a time remnant of Barry
Yeah.
Allen.
But
And
Wally
then-
Wally getting his revenge for Godspeed for Savitar literally like breaking his leg and tossing him aside like a rag doll.
Yeah.
Like Savitar would not expect Wally, or as he called him, Wallace, to be this powerful now. And then
Wally
you
and
have
Thawne.
who else was there?
I mean, Nora and Thawne. Yeah.
Yeah, and Nora and Thawne. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Perfect.
Oh yeah.
Perfect team ups. Perfect match.
And low key, Allegra shouldn't have been fighting anybody.
Yeah. And
Yes.
also low key, Mark didn't do anything except
He just stood there.
why were you there?
So
dude?
this is a funny thing. I had a friend here that had not watched any of this season and just was here for the finale. And so he saw Chillblade and he's like, so he's got ice powers and wears a jacket with fur, but no shirt. And I'm like, yeah. He's like, why are you wearing a fur coat that doesn't zip up? Like, what's the point of that? And I'm like,
Yeah. At least they didn't give him the weird cowl
Yeah.
thing like he wore in the comics. First of all, I'm like, Eric Wallace, that's a weird deep cut to pull from. That was just a weird character to pull.
this might be a hot take, but when Chillblade is not doing the ridiculous shit that Eric Wallace makes him do, he's
Good.
actually a good character.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he is.
When
Like when he's
using
at
his
Star
brain.
Labs, yeah. Like Chester,
He's not a
Chillblade,
villain.
yeah. Chester and Chillblade together had great chemistry in Star Labs.
Yeah.
Too bad we didn't get any of that like over the season, and it was focused on this Keone bullshit.
Yeah. Also, can we talk about they made Chester look really stupid? You're a scientist. You didn't know you had latent metahuman
Yeah, that
abilities.
was dumb. That was really
and
dumb.
that happened back in what?
Yeah.
2019.
Season six.
dude?
Yeah, season yeah.
It's 2023, and then you just now realize that. It makes you like a terrible
Well, I
scientist.
also want to point out that that's cap as fuck because we've been to the future and we know that he never develops any powers.
exactly.
What's
Right.
kind of funny is I was on Brandon McKnight's live stream and actually asked the question, "What's going on with your black hole powers?" And he goes, "I don't know. It's something to do with the riders, And then he kind of like dodges the question.
So we went to 2049 and he doesn't have powers.
Yeah.
So
And he also still looks older than Allegra. I mean, look younger than Allegra. So,
Younger.
yes.
Yeah.
way younger.
so
What we got next?
explain that
Rudo?
one.
And for me, with what I've done different with the speedster fight is I would actually have liked him to kind of split into 5 different flashes, like in Armageddon, when
That
he
could have been cool.
and then
Yeah.
helped.
I would have
each
taken
team.
that.
Yeah.
I would have taken 10. Give me 10 of them. That would have been
Like-
I think like 1v5 could have been really funny.
yeah.
All those people fighting these evil speedsters shouldn't be able to fight these evil speedsters.
What
Yeah.
I would have loved to have seen is Barry supercharge up and we see him split apart fighting each individual villain himself,
Yeah.
supercharge, and then come back together to face off against a supercharged Cobalt Blue using all of the negative speed force, battling him to the point where he doesn't want to actually kill him. So then he talks him out of it. Everything turns blue, and then we have a wrap up. That would have
Yeah.
been the ideal way to handle that instead of having Barry get thrown around like Bruce Wayne's father.
Can we talk about Barry's been like Barry? How does Barry not have any broken bones at this point? The last episode, he was thrown through 2 buildings.
It's hard to have any broken
Smacked
bones when
in-
you have no spine.
Smack. He smacked into a building and then landed on a bus stop. This week, he gets hit with a lightning javelin, flies through 3 cars, and then hits another bus stop.
Also, can we talk about how all of a sudden Cobalt Blue was a master of the negative speed force, like immediately?
Exactly.
Can we discuss that? How he was able to defeat Barry in a regular just running and throwing javelin battle when he's been the Flash for almost a decade?
I honestly
we talk
wish
about
they-
how he throws lightning like. I said, "Wow, Eddie,
I
that's a
honestly
lightning
wish
swipe."
I honestly wish they would do like a training montage of him actually
Rocky
using
style.
lightning style as like a shield, a rope, everything. So we don't get the like impression. How did he think of that, and how does he know how to create it? And like the whole lightsaber battle. As soon as that happened, I'm like, did I miss something? When did he?
I want to
do
point
that?
out in the chat, someone says, why do we see Max, Avery, and Jess in 2049? Because that was something that got changed.
Yeah.
Like Chester having powers is something that we already see it's already inside of him. So that's something that should have existed in 2049. But those people were not chosen for speed until Barry chose them for speed.
Yeah,
So.
I will
timeline.
say when we went back, when we were in the house with all the speedsters, Eddie's sheer confidence, even though Eobard was throwing so much shade, and I have to say that wasn't scripted. That was Tom Cavanaugh just like going ham. He's like, "Hey, I'm back. Let me just treat all these dudes real quick." Like he was going ham, but the smile that Thawne had after Cobalt Blue suited up and offered them power.
Also, can somebody explain to me how pulling the negative speed force out of the rogues that were brought back made them disappear?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, that made zero sense.
It kind of like reminded me, like Barry sacrifices himself to strike him. So they all kind of sacrificed themselves to strike Eddie
Unwillingly.
unwillingly.
So they were killed.
Yeah,
It wasn't a sacrifice, they were killed.
Well, the only one that was actually Nora committed murder. Like Nora stabbed dude in the back. Like she killed him. Everybody else just gently knocked him out.
Can we actually point out
him.
how that wouldn't really kill him? To be honest, like that wouldn't kill him. Like stabbing Barry with something doesn't kill Barry.
Yeah,
like it wouldn't kill him. You'd have to do a lot more than that.
Yeah, like a bullet to the back.
Yeah, outside of the suit. The suit is also protects him. How are you going to stab him with his own thing? Like,
yeah, what would have been awesome if Savitar like had a revenge plot planned, like he would go to like Iris's room and try to kill her, and then we have Bart, Nora, and Wally protecting their mother and sister. That would have been like that would have been awesome to see.
So what we got next?
Next we got there's a lot of like people, so let's do that one.
I'm special. Josh Darby. What do you think Chester's power would have looked like, and what do you think he was capable of doing with them?
Opening bridges.
I honestly think that he would have got really, really morbidly obese, like he did in the comics. He still wore glasses. He was just really, really big. But he would have just been a different way for them to travel. He would literally Cisco Light.
I mean, that's pretty much what they introduced him for.
Or would it be Cisco?
You want to go to the watch? Want to build the watchtower? Watch this. Open the black hole, and then there you go.
He could have just like got Barry from like space.
Right. Let's point that out, by the way. It took 24 hours for a message from Earth to get to the watchtower. Technically, like every single.
But you know what doesn't take a long time? Telepathic powers, which they have access to.
I mean, she did talk. Yeah. She talked to Nora across time,
but not in the watchtower. But not in the watchtower.
When Grammy Cecile calls you from the past, I said she can do that, but
there's
he never did that to get Barry to come back either
those
time
are
they
like
needed
plot device. Like they just like they need it from the story to make sense. So they just randomly say like she can't call someone to call Future Barry because we don't want to waste time making makeup on them. But we can call Nora from the future with Cecile's powers.
This is a good point. Also, how did Savitar know that that was their daughter?
Yep. I also want to point something out. So they've created this concept that Iris and Barry are connected metaphysically, like they're connected beings at a cosmic level, right? So why doesn't that extend to Savitar? He's literally just another Barry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So wouldn't you think that him being there in present day where Iris is overpowered, I guess, than what she was back when he knew her, that he'd feel something? Why would he want to kill Nora?
Yeah, I'm actually very shocked he wouldn't go like see her. Like what's worse to Barry
Yeah.
than like killing his pregnant?
I
wife?
would
Like,
I would think that he would have
Right.
beef with Cobalt Blue because now
Exactly.
it's a three-way, four-way
Yeah.
love triangle now.
That's true. Yeah.
Quadricycle something. I don't know.
Wow.
I don't know.
I'm surprised Zoom didn't try to get with Keon in that moment.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's
Please, no.
true. He didn't even like recognize that it was like Caitlin.
The algorithm says, what's your thoughts on the overall Killer Frost storyline? From the villain persona triggered in a way of MCU Hulk to persona friend to living life in Caitlin's body and finally living a life of her own. I think the whole Keon thing was stupid. I thought it was stupid from that one
Well,
episode.
we were never explained on how it even happened.
Yep. And for Eric
It was
Wallace to
never
say
explained.
that was her origin was a drop plot point, that ain't how it worked, bro.
And
Right.
they named her without actually naming her.
Yeah.
Like they named her goddess, which is very vague. Like, was she the goddess of life?
Yeah. She was either the life entity or the life force. Why didn't they just say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, did they?
It's
did they
so
not have
ambiguous.
the-
If you're not somebody that reads comics, you would have no idea what the fuck she is.
yeah.
And why was Deathstorm not actually called the Death Force?
Because that was before this happened and Eric Wallace wasn't thinking. Because it was, by all accounts, when it was the Black Flame,
Yeah.
he was the Death Force. He was able to access people's memories and manipulate their emotions from deceased people. So, yes, he was technically a Death Force. They could have just said that they could have said that's what he was all along. And now
Yeah.
Keon is the answer to that or something. But no, they didn't even bother to do that. It was... And keep in mind, they had plenty of time. How much time did we waste with Keon doing dumb shit over the season?
So much.
How much time did they waste on the whole 190 kisses like 5 times in the season?
The whole dumb Allegra Chester. Oh, I love you. I don't love you. I can't say I love you because anybody who tells me they love me leaves, like my dad.
I did a video before we even got to where we are now with Frost, explaining how after 3 seasons it was convoluted and it didn't make any sense. And it never did. It's like every season they retconned Caitlin and Frost, the persona, because they couldn't decide, do we want it to be like the Incredible Hulk? Do we want it to be a split personality? Do we want it to be something that she remembers that she doesn't remember? Sometimes they write notes to each other, but then sometimes they could communicate like through thoughts. They didn't even know how to do that. So this just seemed ridiculous to me. It seemed really dumb and it seemed pointless because tell me, like logically thinking, other than the speech that we have at the end with Barry, what purpose did Keon serve this season? Absolutely nothing. There's no important storyline that could not have been done with just her being Caitlin.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. What we got? Oh, we got one.
Can I add something just like really quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I think like looking back at
I love your hair.
Looking back at Caitlin and the whole Killer Frosting and everything, I really kind of wish that they just made Caitlin Killer Frost, like no alternate like things. I think it should have been like a 4-season journey with her,
Like season 2.
yeah, like those first 2 seasons is just her being Caitlyn, and then season 3 she starts getting stuff, and then I think she should have been like a full-on villain in season 4, and then that's it for her. She like leaves the show, and I think that would have made everything a lot more simpler. And I get that sucks because people like their like cast members around, but sometimes you kind of have to. I think drawing it out for 9 seasons, trying to find something to do with her, was probably a mistake.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Cannon Grass for the final question of the quick draw, because I forgot that Lance was like, this will be fun to talk about. So Cannon Grass says, do you think the writers didn't do enough with Cecile? I mean,
It was
they
her
should have
show.
I mean, they should have given her a power or at least some screen time to develop her character. I
He's
still don't know even if anything about her except she's Jenna's mom, just because of how often we hear Jenna say it in all her episodes.
Bro, she's the main character, bro.
The fact that Jenna's not even present for her parents getting engaged,
or the older daughter.
Jenna
Is she still
vanished.
stripping?
Yeah, exactly. So the older daughter's gone. Which, by the way, why isn't the older daughter watching Jenna when they need to do stuff? Why is she just completely gone?
I think
That's
she
her
went
big
back to the
sister.
strip clubs.
She had the strip club.
I mean, maybe, but it was weird for them to be at the hospital with everything that's going on with Iris, and Jenna wasn't there.
I am convinced that she was erased post-crisis. I am convinced that
Well, she
she's
showed-
gone.
She showed up though.
She popped up.
When?
She showed up and as a toddler, like 6
No,
years
I mean
old.
her other daughter,
Joan.
Oh,
no,
a
the
stripper.
older daughter.
Yeah,
No, she
Yeah.
had
that one.
I'm
they
convinced she's
mentioned her.
gone.
They mentioned her before.
Oh, really? Okay.
This is a simulate. This is another. Why were Taylor and that other dude that I can't remember his name just in the house?
There.
And then it's like y'all see Caitlyn, but you would still think that Caitlyn was the person that randomly turned you green.
Yeah.
Which by the way, I want to point out that in
that
that
was
episode when they freaked out and ran away, and she was like, "Oh, I just did it to save their life or whatever." They never confirmed whether it was permanent or not, so I'm guessing it wasn't permanent.
Yeah. I mean,
Because
no,
they're
she did
fine.
say you'll turn
No,
back
she
to
did say
normal.
it'll
I
go
think.
back.
She did, but then what you call it, Cobalt Blue was arguing with her about making her a monster, and she took it to heart,
yeah.
even though she knew that it wasn't permanent.
He made her go away. She had a whole midlife crisis in that moment, and
But
only
she knew it
6.
wasn't permanent. But she knew it wasn't. So what was she mad about? She didn't go, by the way, they're probably normal by now. You turned them into monsters for like 10 seconds to save their life, and now they're normal?
My whole thing was, y'all know Mark is a dick, but he would never talk to y'all like this. So
No, that was dumb.
How
I
don't you
should've-
see something is wrong?
Yeah, like we were watching that and I was like, yeah, something's going on. Because while he was doing it, I was like, okay, either this is the worst writing I've ever seen on the show, or something else is happening, because it just didn't make any sense in the scene. But then the fact that she listened to him make her feel like gaslighting her, that she turned people into monsters when she knew they were going to turn to normal, like, why didn't she go, they're probably normal right now? What are you yelling at me for?
Exactly.
I got like swamp thing vibes when they turn green. I'm like,
My thing is, like, you turned their insides to plants to help them breathe.
I get that sunlight, helps plants grow, but that's a little too much.
Another thing, Keon, you didn't notice when you were traveling there with Mark that he disappeared for a few seconds?
Mm-hmm. And the fact that they didn't really hide the fact that he turned evil at, as soon as you saw the blast that Allegra got, like, she full on like body slammed the.
It's like, does she have any lasting head trauma? Because they made sure that she was knocked out for that entire episode.
Like, they wanted her out because she was directing.
It was for the best.
But guys, we're going to wrap it up. It is 7:10 here currently. 3Dubs has some news for
Stop.
3Dubs has some news for tomorrow, so I'll let him take it. Yeah,
Oh,
you set this
yeah.
whole thing up, so I
Okay.
mean, I honestly don't know what's going on.
So we're doing another Party Nation live stream tomorrow, 30 minutes early, and we're going to have a special guest called Buddy Tackless Ryan, aka yeah. So we're going to do that, and we're going to have fun doing it, and so yeah, that's pretty much what we're doing tomorrow, and so yeah.
I may be late. I may be on time.
I may be doing a takeover until he gets here.
But yeah, so Tackless Rhyme will be in the building. Yeah, making sure we don't interfere with because you stream on Tuesdays, right, Darren?
I do Tuesdays nights. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
made
so-
sure that it was
Yeah.
like 2 hours before you do yours.
Yeah. I don't stream until like 10 o'clock, so we're good.
Yeah, yours be late. I'll be seeing it pop up. I'll be like, I'm going back to bed.
And DJ Eric streams at like 10:30 to like
Yeah.
2 a.m. I'm like, I'll stay up for him. He's the goat.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm trying to wait for Eric to get back so we can see what his streaming schedule is now that the Flash is over.
Yeah.
Sad
So,
face.
Yeah. I think we're all just gonna be stalling until Secret Invasion comes out.
mini dance party.
Listen,
so Eric gets
at this point, I'm more hyped for that than Superman and Lois right now. I'm not even gonna lie.
Now, Secret Invasion is gonna be amazing.
Yo, bro.
Kata says, "Good luck watching."
No,
the game.
no, there is no luck. I didn't even turn it on. Usually, I got it on in the background. I'm stalling.
You know what? I have to address this too. All of those weird trolls that want to keep telling Andy this when he's been, doing this for years and he's covering more than just the Flash. You guys are weird. It's like you purposely want to ignore that. I don't like that. Andy's my boy.
And speaking of Andy, while he's here, I had to create a new Twitter account because I've been hacked constantly. So
Yeah.
I can't send
Been
messages
bad.
to you until you follow me back. Just letting you know.
This has been
It's
one long
3Dub
Rouge.
reviews now. Official 3WP is the @ symbol.
But yeah, Eric, before we jumped off, I wanted to you to say see what your streaming schedule will be like since the Flash is done, like with your Twitch stuff.
I mean, there should be the same things at the same times. I'm going to be doing the after party on Saturday. Obviously, we'll just be covering topics from superhero stuff in general. I have my first episode of Daily Feed went up today, which is covering news. Like what I'm going to do on Mondays is I'll cover like box office numbers and stuff from the weekend. So I covered Little Mermaid and Guardians of the Galaxy, which is leaving the box office this week, I think. So I covered that. And those will be pre-recorded on Mondays, most likely. And then they'll be live Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursdays, which I'll go over news and stuff from the day. They'll be pre-recorded if there's not a lot to talk about, but mostly they'll be live during the day. And then I'll be live on Twitch twice a week still on Mondays and probably Thursdays. But
It's never that. It's never that. I'm not that stupid.
But the reason why I'm doing that is because I am really fucking good at what I do, and so I'm going to continue to keep doing what I'm doing with other content. Because I see a lot of people ask me what I'm going to do. It's like, oh, I guess I'll just shut my channel down.
Exactly. They
I'm
asked
not
me
gonna do
too.
anything
I'm
else.
like,
I love a lot of shit,
yeah.
so I can keep doing content. Yeah, it sucks that the Flash is gone because that takes away a weekly review from me. But to be completely honest, reviews weren't really popping anyway. Like what was popping is doing theories and breakdowns and live streams or whatever. Reviews for any content creator out there. If you want some advice from me and you're listening right now, one of the worst things you can do is build your channel on just reviews, reactions, or like that's good, or I guess theory, speculation videos, things like that. They'll work. But if you do a review and that's all you're doing, you get locked into doing that. And they have
Already
a very
playing on it. Already planning on it.
They have a very short lifespan. Reviews have a very
Yeah.
short lifespan. You get maybe
Yeah.
3 to 4 days on them and then they're gone. Nobody's going back. Like nobody's going and watching Netflix and then going, hey, let me go watch this review of this episode. They're binging it.
Yeah.
So once it's off week to week, you have a very short lifespan. So moving forward on my channel in general, and I said this a while back, Superman and Lois will probably be the last show that I review in the format that I've been doing it. I will be doing all of my reviews moving forward as half an hour to 45-minute live streams, either the night after it or the next day. That's the future of my channel. I'm not doing pre-recorded reviews are dumb anyway. Like I hate sitting in here in front of the camera it feels weird. I'm talking to myself. Like it's really weird. Like I don't like doing it.
I don't think he will ever become Emergency Awesome.
No.
Yeah.
But I know some people aren't going to vibe with what I'm doing on my channel. I get
Yeah.
it. I suspect there's going to be people that only watch me for Arrowverse stuff. And so they're like, I'm going to stick around for a while, then I'm going to move on. I get it. It's going to happen. All of our channels will probably experience a little bit of fluctuation in subscribers. But in the long run, if you want to change your channel, you have to commit to that change and be consistent with it. And so the daily feed, which I've called a daily dose of geek, which is basically going to be me talking about 3 to 4 topics of video, keeping them within 10 to 15 minutes. And I'm going to have fun doing it. That's what I like. Like if you do this to make money, you're going to be miserable. You have to do it because you're having fun doing it.
Yep.
And your hard work will pay off and your returns will be based on whatever you put into it. So
will this be kind of like a sequel to the Weekly Geekly that never came back?
It is the evolution. It is the leveling up of the Weekly Geekly because I will have guests on it. For example, the daily feed will turn into other things. Like when Star Trek is on, whatever day the episode drops, the daily feed, unless there's other major news, will be a conversation about the Star Trek episode. That is the way I'm going to do it moving forward. It's a very flexible format. Yeah. If there's a Star Wars episode on for the week or whatever, depending on what I'm watching. But I want it to be flexible. By calling it the daily feed, it can be anything that I want. It's just basically updates and news about stuff. So yeah, no more of that bullshit review stuff. It doesn't do much for your channel. Look, I've missed the algorithm because they don't want to promote my
this.
Yeah, exactly.
Talking about the comics that I love.
Yeah.
So.
The algorithm doesn't like me. YouTube already hates me anyway, so I'm going to do what I want to do and I'll make it work on my own.
They hate my Superman and Lois reviews. They love my Flash reviews.
You're not the only one. Okay, look, honestly, Superman and Lois, if you go on the Superman and Lois Reddit, people are not happy with the show right now, and it has nothing to do with quality. People are depressed watching the show, and I said this a month ago when Paige and I talked about it, and I know that he and I don't always see eye to eye with stuff, but the cancer storyline is too heavy for what the show is, period. Yeah. It's too heavy. It's too serious. And I know the show is supposed to be mature, but it is sucking the fun out of the show for so many people that love Superman and Lois. That's just the reality of it. So yeah, that's all I got to say about it. I love it. I think it's great acting. Obviously, Elizabeth is killing it this season. Yeah. But with a shorter season, it's hard to look at Superman and Lois, a show that's supposed to be about hope, and spend so much time in the trenches, basically.
Yeah. My reviews dropped from over 100 to like this week was literally, it's been at 34 for about a week now. I'm like, yeah, people don't want to see
and it's not actually helping the show when they don't actually promote it. Like Nexstar is literally trashing it with non-promotions. Like we only got one photo.
Yeah. Look, it's not coming back on the CW. I just want everybody to be aware of that. It's done. If it comes back, it's going to be on Max. 100%.
Yeah. Also, 3Dubs, I don't know what you did, but your camera clarity is amazing right now.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it cleared up a lot.
Like, I can see your face. I can see your color. And I can see the Cheez-It box is red. But, yeah. I will be 3Dubs. The questions that we did answer, you can delete them, and I'll do the other ones in like just a Q&A video in place of my Flash review this week.
Expect me to remember exactly which ones I clicked.
Yeah, rewatch the live stream.
You said like do it randomly, so I did it randomly.
Go through the live stream. You do it anyway. But guys, we're going to get out of here. Like I said, we will be live again tomorrow. About 30 minutes prior, so 5 o'clock, whatever time you normally watch the stream, just jump on, 30 minutes prior. gonna have a fun stream with Buddy. Been trying to get him on the stream for a
This will
while.
be his debut, like his debut. Like his first time appearing on
Debut.
Why do you say it like
debut.
that?
It's my southern talk.
I get it. I say things weird too.
It just it caught everybody off guard.
I'm like I get I don't speak northern like you folks, but
well, yeah, it'll be Tackless Rhymes Party Nation debut, and
there you go.
But yeah, but Peace from the Middle East is I thought he said peace fam. I thought he was trying to say from the Middle East or something. Bye, Andy. Yeah, I will check everybody later.